When we think of evolution today, we are most likely to associate it with one person, the British naturalist Charles Darwin. On the origin of species, Darwin's foundational work lays forth his thoughts on evolution and natural selection. These theories were mostly founded on Darwin's personal observations during his travels across the world. Darwin did not simply state that organisms evolved. He wouldn't be in as many textbooks now if that had been the case. Darwin instead postulated a mechanism for evolution known as the natural selection. The fight for existence, as Darwin likes to put it, will favor individuals with some variations over others from generation to generation, changing the frequency of characteristics throughout the population. This process is called natural selection. Hello, my name is Patricia Arcega and welcome to this video where we present to you the theory of evolution by natural selection of Charles Darwin. There are four components to Darwin's natural selection process. The first is variation. Individual differences in appearance and behavior exist among organisms. Body size, hair color, facial markings, voice qualities, and the number of offspring are all examples of variances. On the other hand, other features such as the number of eyes, invertebrates show little to no variation among individuals. Then there's inheritance. Some characteristics are continuously passed down from one generation to the next generation. Other traits, on the other hand, are significantly influenced by environmental factors and have low heritability. Third, we have a high population growth rate. Most populations have more offspring each year than their local resources can support, resulting in a resource shortage. Each generation faces significant mortality. And lastly, we have differential survival and reproduction. Individuals with qualities that are conducive to competing over local resources will contribute more offspring in the next generation to come. Let's have a simplified hypothetical example to help grasp the concept of natural selection. In this case, a group of mice with heritable fur color variations such as black and tan have recently moved into a new environment with black rocks. Hawks prey on mice in this setting, and the tan ones are easier to spot against the black rock than the black ones. Because hawks can see and capture tan mice more easily, a larger percentage of tan mice are devoured, compared to a far smaller percentage of black mice. In the surviving group, the ratio of black mice to tan mice will be larger than the initial population. The color of one's fur is inherited. As a result, the higher percentage of black mice in the surviving group means a higher percentage of black newborn mice in the next generation. The population could be virtually entirely made up of black mice after several generations of selections. This shift in the population's heritable characteristics is an example of evolution. Let's take a step back and consider how natural selection fits into Darwin's broader concept of evolution, in which all living things share a common ancestor and are derived from that ancestor in a massive branching tree. We observe in the case of Darwin's finches that geographical barriers such as the ocean, surrounding islands, or other factors might isolate groups within a single population. The groups can no longer interbreed and are exposed to distinct surroundings once isolated. Natural selection is likely to favor distinct features in each habitat. Differences in heritable features between the groups can accumulate over many generations to the point where they are regarded as different species. Natural selection and other mechanisms are responsible for the great diversity of today's life forms, and natural selection also helps in explaining how these organisms and their environment fit together. Let me end this video with the famous quote of Charles Darwin saying, "It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change." Once again, this is Patricia Arcega saying goodbye and thank you. Have a great day ahead.